Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and we are a family of 8 who live off-grid in Australia, if you haven't been here before. Each weekend, I tend to do a little bit of a progress update, chat video, and let you all know what's been going on. So I'm going to do that today, but I'm also going to share... there's mosquitoes everywhere because it's been raining. So just excuse the occasional, swiping and slapping and things like that. I'm going to share what we got done today. It's not quite finished, but it's well on its way. So we have the 3 chicken pens that I've talked about before. So we have 3 bays here. We have the rescue hens with a rooster, our main flock with a rooster, and then our ducks. And each one has just had an open container for water recently. I invested last year in some really expensive feeders and waterers. They were a well-known brand. They cost like $65 each, and they were supposed to be superb. They weren't. Really unhappy with them. Some broke. The feeders don't let the seed out the way that they should. Just overall not great. So when we got the rescue chickens, we discovered that rather than having their feed in a feeder, they preferred to have it in a trough anyway, which is probably how they'd been fed before. So we started putting their feed just in an old gutter. We'll upgrade that at some point, and we'll probably lift it up off the ground and hang it on the side of the pen. But for the moment, we've just got an old gutter that's in the pen, and we put it underneath the nesting boxes when the weather's bad to keep it dry. So we have that there, but we've just had open containers for water. So what we've now done is we bought some lubing cups and we installed them on PVC pipe, and we put them in each pen. So I'm going to put some footage in here of Darryl putting one of them together, and I'll voice over that I'll come back and I'll voice over that for you to show you what we're doing and the parts that we use and things like that. So I'll show you that now, and then I'll come back and I'll show it to you in the pen. So have a look at this, and then I'll be back. So we used PVC pipe that we had lying around. We managed to find 3 pieces that were the same diameter. And then what we did is we purchased rural fittings that hook onto the end. So PVC fittings with a thread that go on the end, and black rural fittings that screwed into those PVC fittings. And then we scaled down to fit a standard hose fitting. So the standard hose fittings are, I want to say 25 mil, that you can just click a hose on and off. So what we want to be able to do is be able to click a hose on and off so that we can remove them, move them around, attach them to the tanks, all that sort of thing, flush them if we want. We'll figure it out as we go along. So we got the PVC pipe, a PVC cap with a thread, black rural fitting that goes into the thread, and then we sized down to the size of a standard hose fitting. Then what we did was we marked out the holes along the length of it. When we were doing this, we made a few bits and pieces of errors. We can't put winglets on because we've put the lubing cups all the way down it, which we didn't think about at the time. The concave nature of the pipe, it doesn't fit with the lubing cups particularly well. We're probably going to go back with some silicone to make these seal onto the pipe a little bit better. It could have been done better, but this is going to work for the moment, I think. And the lubing cups were really cheap on eBay, and we're using mostly what we had. So we marked the holes. We then used a drill bit to make a hole, and then used a cone-shaped bit to extend the hole a little bit so that it was like recessed or countersunk slightly, so that we could get because the lubing cups have a thread on them, so we wanted to be able to sort of screw them in to give them some support. It all went together okay. I think we'll do it slightly differently if we are going to replace it. I did find some T-junctions that would fit on pipe that actually has a thread on it that you could screw the lubing cups into, which would remove the need for silicone and things like that. So this worked as a, quick, we'll test it, we'll make sure that the chickens are happy to drink out of them and things like that, and it's going to work with the tanks because in summer that water in open containers evaporates so quickly, so it's going to work for that purpose. So we put it all together and then we took it out to the chicken pen, and I'll show you it out in the chicken pen. All right, so that's how we put it together. And then the next thing has been putting it in the pens, and the best way to do that for each animal. So this is the rescue hen pen. I'm going to turn you around so you can have a look. So what we've done is we've got one of these 100 litre Maize water tanks that we've got up on Besta Bricks and then on a stand, and then the tank there, and we've got a hose fitting attached to that, and that hose fitting is attached to the PVC pipe, and then the lubing cups down. Stop pecking at me, please. The lubing cups are attached to it. So these lubing cups aren't ones that they have to toggle. They just fill automatically, but we're still working on getting them in the right position. Like this one isn't filling at the moment because I'm guessing there's not enough water in these pipes. So the chickens these chickens took to these really quickly, but we are having some problems with the angle of them. We've just got them up on pavers at the moment, and we plan to make a bit of a timber cradle to hold them up in the right position, but we wanted to test it out. So they still have open water for the moment, as well as these to drink out of, but they seem to be doing fine. So this one here is in the, let me back up a bit for you, in the rescue pen. So yeah, we're going to take that up a little bit higher and put it in a bit of a wooden cradle to try and keep it in the right angle for it to work. But for the moment, they seem to all be enjoying it. Obviously, they're not going to use it while I'm watching because that would be too easy. But I think this will work quite well. So that way we can just fill this tank, and then every couple of days, and it will gravity feed to the pipe, and those lubing cups will fill up themselves. So that's for that one. Also, we did lose another rescue chicken today. Not unexpected. They are rescue chickens. They came fairly unhealthy. We tried really hard to get them nice and healthy, but some are just not going to make it. So we've lost 2 out of the 20 that we bought so far, and when you buy 20, you actually get 2 free. We didn't have enough room in the car to grab the extra 2. We only had enough in there for the 20. So I think they expect you to lose a couple, and that's why they give you some freebies. So the 2 might be what we expect to lose. We'll see. We had one that seemed a little bit flat, so we took her out and put her in the tractor to nurse her back to health a little bit. And she's back in the pen and seems fine. So the 2 that have passed, we didn't even realize there was anything wrong, so no idea, but we'll just keep on going, and hopefully what we're doing is right for them, and we'll see how we go. So anyway, so the water's in there for them, and then we've done the same thing in the other pens. We've got, girls, I know it's dinner time and I don't have food with me. Back up, come on, back up. Oh, sorry, I got you in front of the fence post there, and then, close-ups, but they're hounding me as I come in the gate. So yes, this is the problem we're having. Let me turn you around and show you before I fix it. So you'll see here that what they've done is they've tilted the lubing cups so that they are forward, which means that they're leaking out onto the ground instead of just staying full. We've also got, sticks in them already. So this piece here was keeping them adjusted the right direction, but it's the chickens are knocking it out of the way. So we need to get a cradle of some sort, some saddles to hold it the right direction. But other than that, I think it's working. These aren't full at the moment because I think this tank has leaked out. Yeah, so we need to fill them up because the tank's empty. So we need to top the tank up. But an egg. Other than that, they seem to be working, and we've still got open water for them while they're not working 100%. We've also put some in with the ducks, but we're not real sure how it's going to work because ducks and water is gross. Like if you look at the pond, that was refilled this morning and it's already that colour, and they've done something similar here to their cups. It's just grubby water in there. So what we might do here, and this one is dribbling out, so that angle is obviously too much for it. That should stop it from overflowing, but they're grubby. So we need to lift these up off the ground at the moment, as I said, we're just using what we had because we wanted to make sure that they would use them too. I don't think these lubing cups are made to go in to a round pipe either. They're supposed to go in to a flat surface, so we had to make sure that they weren't going to leak and stuff too. But so we've got a third tank and the 3 cups here. Obviously they've been using them because the water's filthy, so hopefully we can lift them up a little bit and that will work. I did share on Instagram too, I don't know if I've shared on YouTube, that we've got some duckies nesting. Each of these Muscovy ducks have 2 eggs underneath them, so we will let them go and see how they go with hatching them. We also have 1 Muscovy in the back corner here. So the other ducks, the ones that are quacking, are runner ducks, and they're not known for nesting, so we don't expect them to nest. They just lay wherever they want, but the Muscovies tend to. So we've got Muscovy in the back there, also sitting on a nest that she's covered in her feathers and stuff, so we might get some ducklings this year out of them all. We'll see how we go. Ducks take 28 days to hatch, so they will be ready a bit after the incubator, I suppose, to hatch, so we'll just have to keep an eye on them. But we've got this table in here at the moment for when it's raining until we build another bit of a shelter in here for them. So that's the new water system, so I'll keep you updated as we get it going, but hopefully we'll get the cradle built and we'll stop that the pipe from that twisting motion, which is letting the lubing cups leak out into the ground. But also if we get it up a bit higher, then hopefully the ducks won't dirty the water as much either, because I'm not sure how easy those cups are going to be to clean up. So if they do keep dirtying them, then it may not be a solution for them anyway. It's aimed more at the chickens, but we thought we'd try it with the ducks as well because they filthy their water so easily. I thought that maybe those little cups they wouldn't, but so far that hasn't proven to be true. So we will have to see how we go. So there is that. Other thing I was going to update on was the grey water system that I was supposed to get moving on, except that I couldn't because it rained. So Darryl has dug the hole for me for the bathtub that I wanted to use as the grey water, except that I've just discovered that the bathtub has a whole lot of holes in the bottom, so either we've put them in there to use it for something else or someone has previously, so it's not going to work. Let me turn you around. So Darryl dug the hole for me for the bathtub, but I've pulled the bathtub out because it's been raining to clean and put the baffles in, and notice it has all these holes in the bottom of it. So I'm not sure whether we've done that or whether when we bought it someone had used it for something like that before, but that is not going to work as is. We might get some silicone and look to fill it, the holes, maybe, I'm not sure yet, but that was the plan, to use that for the grey water here, which is near the back fence, which was easy access, but I can't move forward on that yet, so still working on that one. Now, some garden updates to share with you as well. I know I haven't done the video on the seeds and the varieties that I've got seeding, but I will get there, I promise. It's not hugely important just yet because I won't be planting them out for a little while yet anyway. Some of my tomatoes are only just getting true leaves now, so within a week I'll probably be potting them up, pricking them out, potting them up, so I will try and get that the rest of that footage that I've got done then too to share with you, and I'll include it in there. But in here where I've got all my currant bushes and stuff like that, we've got some sprouts on the dahlias, which is really exciting. So this is the first time I've ever grown dahlias. I bought some mixed cheap, well, that sun's pretty bad right there, some mixed cheap tubers. It was a little bit of an investment, but it was cheap because I don't know what I'm getting, but I don't care. I did have to separate some of them to fit them in the pots, which was a little bit hair-raising because I haven't done it before, but I did, and we've got some sprouts as well. I also have my rhubarb sprouting, so let me show you that. So here's the dahlias. I've found a few. So this one must have had quite a few eyes on that tuber that I left. I only cut them in half, generally speaking, so there was potentially quite a few eyes on each one. So we got this one that's sprouting here as well, and I noticed a little green one in here too, so hopefully we get a few more going in the next week or so. And then I also noticed that I have rhubarb sprouts in this one, but not in the other one. But my currants, look how well the currants are doing. This is amazing because I wasn't sure what was going to happen with these because it took me so long to get everything into dirt. but the currants are doing really well, so that's great. But so are all the raspberries and stuff here, but I haven't seen any sprouts in this rhubarb yet, but we will get there. I've been coming out most mornings just to have a look at things because it's always nice in spring that, like, from day to day how much things change. So the strawberries are flowering and we have a almost ripe strawberry, but of course because it's almost ripe something has taken a bite out of it, which is pretty normal. But I'll share those. And I have noticed that we have some little canes coming up from the raspberries, not where the canes are. Now I did plant, there was 6 or 7 canes in here last year that we planted that the canes died off. Like the above ground canes died off. I have no idea whether they set out any rooted like roots that will come up as canes this year, but just in case I planted another 6 canes. However, the ones that I planted that are heritage and they're all prima canes, and I don't know what the ones that were in there were before. So it's going to be a little bit of a hit and miss to find out, like, if there was any in there that I've just lost the name of it. Like, these ones are prima canes. The other ones where they grow, they fruit on the 2nd year canes. I can't for the life of me remember the name of it. But I don't know if any of the others that were planted here are that. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes up, and I'll have to be careful with pruning at the end of the season just in case some of these aren't prima canes. But I'll just show you what I found and thought was kind of nice. So this is the cane that we planted this year. The focus is not great because of the sun. So that's the cane that I put in the ground as a bare root this year, and all this new growth has come up in the bottom, which is fantastic. But I also noticed that we've got this little one here on the side that I don't know whether this has been in there long enough that is from this plant or if it's from the previous one, because I also noticed that this one here, so this one's done the same thing, lots of nice new growth at the base of it, and it's died off the main one, but there's a little tiny cane here. So whether that is from one of the others or not, I'm not sure, but we will just see, and hopefully this bed will end up full of raspberries and it won't matter. The strawberries are doing well. So this is the strawberry bed. Lots and lots of fruit. I still haven't had a chance to get in here and pull some of these runners out to put into the Mr. Stackies. So there's far too many plants in here at the moment. I really need to do that. Some of these ones, like what's out on the edge of the bed here, it's almost in the path. I'm going to do that. Hopefully in the next week or so. Get some of these ones that are way out in the path space and put them in the Mr. Stackies, and maybe things won't eat the strawberries. So this was my first strawberry that was coming really nice and red, but look, had a bite taken out of it in the last 24 hours, which is sad. So we will see how we go, but it's looking really good so far. Now the kiwi berries that I bought last year went in the ground really late. They sat in their pots for ages, and then when they went in the ground we got cold weather really quickly, so I didn't have very high hopes for them, and I haven't been able to find any replacement plants to put in. But 2 of the 4 definitely have some significant growth on them, so hopefully those 2 survive. The other 2 I'm not so sure, and I've got a notification in on like Daly's Nursery or whatever to see if I can get 2 more when they're in stock again. But one of them especially looks pretty good. Let me show you. So this one here has, let's see if we can get it to focus on something that's not in my hand. There we go. So there we go. That's got some nice new growth on it, and it's still nice and green in this patch here. I'll have to prune it back if nothing else, but see, there looks like a little sprout on the bit here, so I wasn't too sure how far down I should prune any of this. So that one definitely has. So 2 of them look pretty good. 2 of them, I don't know, but we'll see. So the fruit trees, I won't walk you through the fruit trees today because I haven't, there hasn't been a whole lot of change, and this video is getting pretty long. But they are doing really well as well. We've got the potato beds. I still haven't got the potatoes planted. So we got the pathway put in the potato beds, but I haven't got the potatoes planted yet. Hopefully I'll do that tomorrow morning, actually, I think, because we got some straw for the pig pen, and when we got straw for the pig pen, we kept a whole bunch of it to put on top of the potatoes. It's we sort of do a no dig Ruth Stout sort of a hybrid bed for our potatoes, which is what worked last year. So that's what we'll do again. We'll put the potatoes in on the dirt, straw on top, and then we'll keep on adding straw as the months progress and see how we go. What else did I want to show you? Oh, we've moved some of the trellis. So you can see some of the trellises are moved from behind us. So let me take you out here and turn you around and show you what we've done. Okay, so we took all the shade cloth down. The trellises have been moved out here. We recreated that structure in the middle and put better supports on it and then attached the trellises to it. We use old clothing that's had holes in it or whatever, and that's what we use for tying a lot of this stuff, and that's what's left on the wire too, because that's what I generally use to tie the tomatoes to the trellis as well. So we've cleared that. So on this side it's open to here. Those two trellises I'm going to leave in the middle there, and I'll probably put beans or peas or something on them. And there's a trellis right in the back that still needs to be moved. The trellises on that back wall didn't work very well last year because the plants went through them and you couldn't get to the other side, so it just didn't work very well. So we're going to move that one over that side somewhere. And then I'm still figuring out where I'm going to plant everything as well. So that's still a work in progress, figuring out where everything's going. And we have to run more drip lines. So like this bed here has 2 lines of drip line in it, which is great, but this bed only has 1. So we need to put a second one this side of the trellis, and I'll run tomatoes up one side, and then I'm not real sure, I'll run a lot of basil in some spots, but I'm going to have a look and see what else I can companion plant with tomatoes to use up the other side of the beds here as well, something that's a good companion. I always plant a whole lot of marigolds as well, so that's good. We'll do that there. We're still cleaning all this up. We had a branch come down from this great big gum tree, and it has landed here and damaged one of the hoop houses. Unfortunately, that was here. It's a great big branch, so we have to clean that up. We got this fenced off here for the moment, but we still need to run at the top rail, and we have oh look, my lavender's blooming, isn't it lovely? Let's see if I shadow it, it might get better. There we go, look, isn't it beautiful? So we've got lavender blooming everywhere. This one had already flowered effusively and it's all pretty dried off. I really need to prune that back. My sage in here is flowering too, and then this one is only freshly flowering, so I should harvest some of these to keep to dry out. It smells so nice in here at the moment. I pruned all my lemon balm all the way back too, so that's what all this is here. So I've pruned that all the way back, and I've got some yarrow that is self-seeded. We've got this is marshmallow, and I'm not entirely sure what that is at the moment. I will wait and see. This bed needs a bit of a top up and remulch. My pineapple sage, I'm hoping will come back this year as well. We shall see. And then my aloe needs pruning back after the frost hit it. So anyway, we got the fencing done. So this space is now fenced off to there. Where that piece is in the middle will be a gate between those 2 poles, and then we've got this across here too. There'll be a gate there as well, and then we just need to run shade cloth along the top there. We'll use that as the top fencing, and then we're looking at the netting. But we've got this all mostly emptied now. We just have to space it out and plant all the bushes and stuff in there. We still might get a frost, so we're just holding off at the moment because we still might have one more frost. So we're making progress, slowly, but we're making progress, which is, I constantly say progress, not perfection. Mosquito, sorry. Progress, not perfection, and that is definitely us. Slow, steady progress, forward movement, and that's how things work. So thank you for joining me again today. I hope you enjoyed the update. I have a couple of cooking videos to share with you that I haven't got edited. There was supposed to be one out this morning and I didn't get there. I've got a few people who are asking about Thermomix specific things because I don't do in-person demos, I do online stuff. And so I have a couple of cooking videos that involve the Thermomix that I will release as my normal food prep for those people. I'm still looking for 3 sales by the end of the month, so I am just doing what I can for those people to help them make the decision as to whether they want to purchase or not by providing all the info that I can. So anyone who doesn't want to watch anything to do with Thermomix is welcome not to, but they're all cooking videos anyway, and I find that even though I use my Thermomix, most of these things can be adapted for stovetop and things like that if you want. Thermomix just streamlines it. So feel free to watch or not as you wish. So I'll do that. Also seeds. So the hothouse is full of seeds. We're still carting the seeds in and out of the house every day at the moment. I ordered more seed heat mats for the seeds and they couldn't deliver them, which they sent them through a courier that wouldn't deliver to me, but didn't check. So it was over 2 weeks, and then they turned around and said, we can't deliver to you, it's return to sender. So I contacted them and they have sent them again via express. I'm expecting them Monday. So once I have them, I can put them in the greenhouse that's outside, and it should heat the greenhouse up enough that they don't have to come inside every night. But at the moment we are carting them in and out of the house morning and night, which is so much fun. And we've had a couple of droppages because I get the kids to help. So looking forward to not having to do that. But for the moment, that's what I have to do to get them working and germinating and that sort of thing. So that's what I'll do. But I will do a video in the next, in this week with the seeds, because I'm going to have to start pricking things out. My zinnias they're 1.5 inches tall, things like that. So I have to start looking at pricking them out and putting them into different pots or seed trays or whatever, because I can't plant them out yet because the garden isn't finished for a start. But also last year the last frost was the 27th of September, so we'll wait until 1st of October before we put anything in the ground, just in case, because I'd hate to have spent all this time getting it all germinated and healthy and then put it in the ground and there's freeze and it all does. That would suck. So yes, I will get that video done this week as well and share. I have like 20 odd tomato varieties. I went a little overboard this year. Last year I planted about 200 tomato plants, generally speaking, but I said to myself last year that this year I would limit my varieties because it's easier, but there's so many varieties out there that I want to try. So I ordered and have a lot of varieties to try, but that's fine. So I will share them with you when I do the seedling video, and then I'll bring you along as everything progresses. So thank you again for joining me, and I hope you all enjoy coming along with me. I really enjoy sharing, and I'm really enjoying the documenting too. I can go back to some of these videos when I'm thinking about when I did what, and I can go, that's when I did it, and mark it in my planner and things like that. So I have to start planning the grocery trip too. It's a busy time of year. So I will catch you in the next video. Thank you very much and see you later.